Welcome in, everybody, to Betting Pros. It's time to place your bets. It is me, Joe Pisapia, and this is BP NFL. It's time to look ahead to the best bets for Week 3 in the NFL with my boys, Terrell, Furman Jr., and the Undertaker, Andrew Erickson. We're going to look through. We've got 2 weeks of NFL. Is it enough to go on? Well, it doesn't matter because we have no choice. It's here. So we got to figure it out anyway, and we've got our best bets for you. Don't forget also to subscribe to the channel on Betting Pros. Drop your comments below, ring the bell till it goes ding as well, so you can be with us for all of the NFL content we've got going on here on the channel. Just to look back on last week, Terrell Furman Jr. 2-3, Andrew Erickson 2-3. Just missed a few here and there. We were all kind of upset about the Denver Broncos, but we're going to move past that. And unfortunately, not even the penalty getting called there at the end would have saved that game for any of us. So we're going to turn the page ahead here, and we're going to start with Terrell Furman Jr. And let's talk about a Green Bay team that's got a whole lot of defense and a matchup this week, yet again, where they could come out with a victory. Talk to me about the Packers and what you see in the future, Terrell.
Yeah, it just feels like this is like the letdown for the Cleveland Browns, where they just come into this game and they're just not even competitive. They start the season with 2 division games. You get up for those games. You feel like you tried your hardest in the Ravens game and it didn't go your way. And now you're going and you're playing Green Bay here. And I think Green Bay is going to come in here very, very energized on the defensive side of the ball. They look very, very solid there. I'm kind of concerned about the offensive line, and hopefully they hold up here, but they've had a stout start to the season. I think Jordan Love looks great and the offense is humming. I just don't see anything on this Brown side of the ball that tells me that they're going to be able to get enough stops here. So I'm all over the Green Bay Packers. I think there's a number tier difference here, and I think this should probably be closer to a 10-point spread than an 8. And so I think this is a double-digit win rather easily for the Packers.
Now, Terrell, the one question I'm sure a lot of people are going to ask are, Jaden Reed out. Now you're pivoting to Romeo Doubs, maybe more Matthew Golden here. Kraft has been terrific. Jacobs has been terrific. But really, it's been the story of the defense. It feels like if you can get a defensive score here on this game, that would kind of make this the 10-point cushion that you're looking for.
And I wouldn't even mind a defensive touchdown for the Green Bay Packers prop here because it's Joe Flacco. Like, it just feels like we're going to get that Joe Flacco fall off a cliff game where we're like, all right, now we start having the conversations about Dylan Gabriel and about Shedeur Sanders and getting somebody else in there. Joe Flacco has never been consistent at any point, honestly, except the one Super Bowl run. There's a level of consistency that's just not there with Joe Flacco. And I think that this defense and how they're going to get pressure on him are really, really going to show it. So yes, maybe there is somewhat of a drop off with no Jaden Reed in that offense. I don't think so with how Jordan Love spreads the ball, but that defense is going to carry the way. And I just don't think the Browns are going to be able to put up points on him.
Do you think Gabriel is the pivot or Shedeur?
I think
the first pivot, I should say.
I think it should be Shedeur, but it's probably going to be Gabriel.
Okay, fair enough. All right, Andrew Erickson, let's take a look at the Pittsburgh Steelers heading to New England this week. The total for this game right now looks like it's sitting at 43.5. Are you going over or under, Undertaker?
I'm going over on my Patriots and the Steelers going head-to-head here in Week 3, and that's because these teams are terrible on defense. Through 2 weeks, they are both bottom 5 in terms of EPA per pass attempt allowed, and that's been against, guys, get ready for this list of quarterbacks. Justin Fields, Sam Darnold, Geno Smith, and Tua turn the ball over at quarterback. So that's what we have.
He's been saving that one, T. He's been saving that one in the chamber.
No, that one came off the internet from the kids. The kids all over the internet are saying that. They were saying that last week against the Indianapolis Colts, so I just stole it from them. I didn't catch that.
But that's funny.
What kids was that? What kids
Terrell and I
is
are
Erickson around? Yeah, like what kids is he around?
It goes without saying that these defenses came into this year with higher expectations and have underwhelmed by a significant margin. Now, part of it is with injuries. The Steelers' defense is really banged up. They lost more guys last week. Derek Harmon is practicing, but besides that, I just don't have confidence that they're going to turn things around. And this is stemming back from last year. This defense is starting to get old. Cam Hayward, TJ Watt, those guys are starting to get up there in age, and you're starting to see it on the field. And this has resulted in the Steelers games going over, especially when they go on the road. 7 of the Steelers' last 9 road games have gone over the total. You look at the Patriots playing at home. 6 of the Patriots' last 7 home games have gone over the total. And another fun trend, 8 of the Patriots' last 9 home games following a road win have also gone over the total points line. So we've seen these offenses have moments. The Jets. Oh my, no, the Steelers in week 1 against the New York Jets, listing off all of Aaron Rodgers' former teams, of course, and then the Patriots in week 2 against the bad Miami Dolphins defense. So for all those reasons, I think that we're going to see more explosiveness from the offensive side of the football from both sides. So I'm going to take the over 43.5 points.
All right, let's turn the page to Kyler Murray and the Arizona Cardinals, because historically, Kyler Murray, even when those 49er teams were really good, he kind of gives the 49ers fits. He's actually 4-4 in his career against the 49ers. Just saying, 4-4 in a lot of teams where the Arizona Cardinals had no business being in those games. Now you're getting Mac Jones at home here. Let's talk about it, Terrell. Cardinals plus 2.5. This is something you're on this week.
Just 4-4. Let's look into this a little bit deeper into the looking glass. The Arizona Cardinals are 7-3 in their last 10 games in San Francisco. 7-3 straight up. That's not ATS. That is straight up. 7-3 straight up in their last 10 games in San Francisco. 6-3-1. Think about all the different iterations of Cardinals teams those are. Like Kyler's been in and out of the lineup. Like there's a lot of different.
Carson Palmer. Does it go back that far?
It goes all the way back to 2015. Like this is ridiculous. And so, McCorkle laying points and trying to Mac Jones. I have no faith in Mac Jones laying points consistently. I don't think that this is a thing where they sat there and said, "Oh, they fixed Mac Jones and he's going to go and look good for this team." Like, no, I thought that they played probably one of the worst teams in the NFL last week. He had that game, and now they're about to go play a division rival that actually kind of has their number, believe it or not. And I think this is going to be the Kyler get-right game where he has one of those good games against this 49ers team. Like, it's just a spot where it's been good to Kyler. He's shown up big in this spot. The Cardinals have been able to cover in this spot. And by the way, I told you Mac Jones is still laying points against what looks like to be a competent Cardinals team. Like, the defense looks solid. The offensive line is playing very good last week, regardless of what you think about the Carolina Panthers. Not allowing any pressures or sacks is really big on that offensive line last week. So, offensive line looks solid, giving Kyler time. I think Kyler's going to carve up this defense, actually. So this might not be close. This is probably a game of wrong team favorite.
Okay. Wow. Look at this. All right. Well, you love to see it. All right. Let's talk about one of the many teams that has some QB issues going on this week. A lot of quarterbacks got hurt in week 2, certainly screwed up a lot of some of the good process. And Tyrod Taylor will be taking over for Justin Fields, who's dealing with a concussion. But last week, I did give you Baker Mayfield on the road as an underdog for the upset special. So we're 1-1 on the year on that. So hopefully we can go 2-1 after today. But that does beg the question. Now we have Baker Mayfield at home as a favorite, Andrew. So what does that mean?
It means Jets plus 7. That's what it sounds like to me. So I am going to be fading the Buccaneers here, coming off a road Monday night victory. Tampa Bay, since 2023, is 5-6 against the spread as a home favorite. So we love to back Baker Mayfield on the road when he's an underdog. He's got all that moxie. I don't think we're necessarily going to see that as much here against the Jets at home, where, again, we talked about short rest for the Buccaneers team coming off a road win on Monday night. They're really banged up. Like, they have a very long list of injuries, especially on the offensive line. Kalijah Kancey, defensive lineman, he's out for the season. Ekbuka's on the IR report. Cody Mock, another one of their offensive guard, he's also on the injury report. So they're a bit banged up, and they're, again, short turnaround time for them to play. And then you have Taylor entering as the quarterback. And I think that we're getting more points with him than we would with Justin Fields because he is a backup quarterback. But you look at Tyrod Taylor and his body of work, and he's been pretty solid against the number, 61% against the spread in his career. And in his last 5 games that he played with the Giants, which I'm pretty sure Terrell remembers very well, 4-1 against the spread. And he was also very good as a market underdog. So I think this is just too many points for the New York Jets. So I like them plus 7. Taylor, yes, I don't think that he has the same type of game-breaking abilities that Justin Fields does as a runner, but I think he can steer the ship in the right direction, hand the ball off to Breece Hall, and not turn the ball over. 2 weeks in, Baker Mayfield has the most turnover-worthy plays among all quarterbacks, and he's thrown 0 interceptions so far. So I think the Jets can win the turnover battle, keep it close. They may not come away with the upset, but they keep within a touchdown.
All right, before we get to number 3 for the gentlemen in week 3, I want to shout out the sponsor of today's show, Hard Rock Bet, because it is week 3, and if you haven't tried, what are you waiting for? Your first bet on Hard Rock Bet is waiting for you to make, and there's still time for you to get that $150 in bonus bets if you win. Again, just place $5 That's it on one bet. And if it hits, you not only get your winnings, but you also get 150 in extra bonus bets. What's better than that? Nothing. And if you want to see what other people are betting on from now through the weekend, Hard Rock Bet app shows you trending parlays, the most bet player props, top picked upsets, and more. Just download the app and all the info is just a tap away. Hard Rock Bet has new promos every single day. And this week there's profit boosts for 5 straight days of football. Yes, Thursday night profit boost, Friday college. Then, of course, you go to Saturday's college games, NFL, and then Sunday night and Monday night. What gets better than that? Nothing. And every Thursday on Hard Rock Bet, you also get legendary reward drops as well. Drops, full rewards like bonus bets, parlay insurance, and even more. Open up your drop in time for this weekend's games and see what you get. Hard Rock Bet is the only legal sportsbook in the state of Florida, and it's also available in Arizona, Ohio, New Jersey, Indiana, Tennessee, Virginia, Illinois, and Colorado, with more states launching all the time. So head over to Hard Rock Bet, sign up today, and make your first deposit on Hard Rock Bet. Let's get to number 3 for week 3, Terrell Furman Jr. Let's talk about the Falcons and the Panthers, a game that might see Terrell Furman Jr. there in person. Could it be?
Yeah, very much so. And if I'm going in person, I already know what that means. I'm not seeing fireworks. I'm never that lucky. And so I think that this is going to be an under game. Give me under 43.5 here. I like the under. When you look at this Falcons team and you get this Falcons offense outside in elements in Carolina in a divisional game, 3-7 to the total in the past 10 going to Carolina. So it's been an under type of matchup. It's been a lot really, really leaky in terms of Bryce Young. Just still sucks, man. And I hate to say it because I want Bryce Young to be good. I really, really do. But I just wanted to inform everybody that we had a Sunday watch party for the games on Sunday. And we had a friend who was invited because his wife wanted him to get out the house and hang out with the fellas. And he said he had an interest in football and he wanted to learn about football. So he came to Sunday. This is his first time watching NFL's games for real. He's not even of this country. First time watching NFL games for real. He watched maybe 15 to 20 minutes of that Carolina Panthers and Arizona Cardinals game. And he said, I think this guy sucks, pointing to Bryce Young. And he was like, why is this guy holding on to the ball so long? Why doesn't he just let the ball go? Does he not feel the guys around him? Again, this is somebody that does not watch football. And he's watching Bryce Young like, oh, dude, this guy sucks. And so we had a great laugh about that. And it further proved that I'm going to fade this Carolina offense any chance I get. So I don't think that they're going to put up points against a really good Falcons defense in the first 2 weeks. I will say that there were moments that they gave up big plays to Baker Mayfield, but I think that was a really, really good effort against the Vikings last week. I think that defense is solid. Raheem Morris has got them clicking, and I just do not trust Bryce Young. And I think that getting the Falcons outdoors and giving them that division game in Carolina hasn't folded well for them as well. So I like the under here, under 43.5. I think it's a good play.
Bryce Young has the lowest winning percentage of any quarterback selected number 1 overall in the modern era of NFL football. So there you go, everybody.
No, not Jamarcus.
Yeah, no, worse.
Did Russell? Or I'm assuming Jamarcus Russell just didn't play enough games.
I was gonna say I don't know if he qualified.
they took him out before he had played enough games.
Yeah, I think it's a 19% winning percentage is what I saw over the weekend. So it's rough. It's not good. All right,
I still don't think it's all his fault, but I can't.
It's not all his fault.
I can't go with the eye test. I can't go against the eye test.
It's not all his fault, but again, he hasn't evolved much, and I had concerns about him when he was in Alabama. I had massive concerns about him then that I used to voice on shows, and I feel like unfortunately some of that stuff, the bad habits, just haven't gotten shaken. I was cautiously optimistic. I'll gotta tell you, Terrell, at the end of last year, I was like, okay, maybe we're turning a corner here. The last 2 games.
Oh my God! And then we've gone right back. The interception last week was so bad.
No good, man. It was no good. All right, let's talk about. Let's talk about a game here that I think the Rams have had circled all offseason on the calendar. It's the rematch against the Philadelphia Eagles. The Rams are a team that I think has their design set on getting to a Super Bowl this year. Matthew Stafford does not have a lot left in the tank in terms of gasoline. So it's now or never. And this is a huge victory potentially for them if they can pull it out, because we're talking about tiebreakers when we get to playoffs and home field advantage. So huge implications just in week 3. There's something about this Eagles offense that just hasn't clicked right. I don't know if it's a little Super Bowl hangover, whatever you want to call it. I don't know, but they're still winning games, the Eagles, but something just looks a little off. Maybe they get back on track against the Rams, but what are your thoughts on this big game this Sunday, Andrew?
I like the Rams here. plus 3.5 on the road. I get that
Me
it's
too.
a tough environment to play at the Link with the Philadelphia Eagles fans going crazy, but I like the Rams here. When Matthew Stafford is healthy in the lineup for the Rams, I think LA can go toe to toe with any of the NFL teams when he's healthy and upright with Puka Nacua, with Devontae Adams. You look at the Rams and how good they've been on the road. They've covered the spread in 7 straight road games. And as an underdog since 2024, Rams are 7-4 as underdogs against the spread. So I think they show up in big moments like this. They obviously showed out last week, covering and beating the Tennessee Titans on the road. So I don't think that taking a dome team, especially in September, we're not talking about the last time we saw these two teams play when it was in a blizzard, when there was a lot of snow that was contributing to the outcome of that game. And I think that we can all agree where, hey, the Rams really had a big shot to win that particular contest. Again, a couple fumbles that go their way, and maybe one less Saquon Barkley 60-yard touchdown, and maybe they come away with a win in the playoffs. So I think that this is going to be a revenge spot for the Los Angeles Rams. Again, losing both games against the Eagles last season, but I just want to back Sean McVay, Matthew Stafford on the road. I love the weapons that they have here. So yeah, that's my bet here. Plus 3.5 on the Rams.
It's a different team with Devontae Adams too, offensively.
Yes.
So I'm curious to see what that looks like against the Eagles. It's a tough place to go in and win. There's no doubt about that, but it's also September. So, it's not like the Rams are walking into January snow right now. It's going to be like 70 degrees and sunny there. So, we'll take a look at that. Also, if you want to keep the conversation going here and you love talking football, you love talking betting, well, you can do it on our Discord right now, bettingpros.com/chat. It's free. It's fun. We're talking NBA, MLB, NFL, everything at your fingertips all day long. You can get connected with expert handicappers. We have an amazing community. We got AMA channels. We got everything going on there, and you should be a part of it. So join that community of betting pros right on our Discord. Again, bettingpros.com/chat. All right, let's talk about your New York Football Giants. This week has a lot of teams on the brink here of starting 0-3 and becoming irrelevant. One of those teams is the New York Giants, and the other one is actually the Kansas City Chiefs, who they are playing. So obviously this seems like a big must-win spot for the Chiefs. How do you break this one down, Terrell?
Well, if you're not a Giants fan, you should know that. I mean, the Giants never put on a good performance at home, except the one time, the Giants didn't want a good performance and Drew Lock went and carved up the Colts. And I mean, it resulted in us getting Abdul Carter. So, it is what it is. But I'm just going to tell you right now, like, the Giants do not fare well at home. I wonder if we're going to get the return of Fire, Dable, and Shane on the airplane flying over the stadium. We have not had a Giants home game in a while, and he hasn't gotten a chance to fire up the plane. He might fire it up here today because they're going up against a good defense. And wow, I give Russ all the credit, and I promise you I'm going to give him all the blame for that interception, but all the credit for the game that he did last week. I mean, when he threw that second touchdown to Neighbors with 25 seconds left, I was in arm. It was great. That was everything everybody told me about Russell Wilson. But then I remembered what happens. It's Russell Wilson. He's not going to be consistent. You put a good defense with a very strong defensive line that can rush both tackles at the same time and be able to get to the quarterback. Then you have somebody like Chris Jones up the middle. I mean, I'm sorry. This Giants offensive line doesn't stand a chance. Does not stand a chance. And if you tell me that this Russ is going behind a horrible offensive line for the Giants, yeah, I mean, we're not putting up points. So I'm going to tell you right now, the Giants team total is at 19.5. Is way too much. We're not getting the 20.
I mean, first of all, Jameis Winston finishing this game, T. I'm not gonna lie. That's a big of a come to Jesus moment I think the Giants might have at some point where, as you mentioned, that pass rush ferocious, of Kansas City Chiefs. They're going to get after it. Chris Jones and company is going to get after it. And I mean, he had that 400-yard game. Everyone's freaking out. Oh, Russell Wilson. It's an illusion, everybody. It's the Cowboys' ineptitude, I think, more than Russell Wilson's aptitude.
And it's really bad because Dart is probably the Giants' best chance at winning this game. And it's because of the fact of the offensive line play is so bad. And it's the unknown and the fact that he can continue to play with his legs and moving. I'm saying, like, Jackson Dart, the only reason he should be starting is because the offensive line is so bad. If we had a solid offensive line, okay, bet. Give me Jameis, then give me Russ. I understand it. But with the offensive line playing like this, they need to be playing Dart right now to give themselves a chance. And I'm telling you, that Cowboys game is a facade. It's not happening again.
Mm-hmm.
They're
Yeah, I
going to
agree.
play this Chiefs team, and it's going to be bad. So, yes, make
Well,
sure you
it's
take
kind
the
of like what
Giants
the
game
Pats
total
did
under.
last year, right, Terrell, too, where, it's like, well, the offensive line is bad, and you know what? Drake May can move a little bit. So let's get him out there, and let's let him play a little bit. You might as well start learning now and see if we can turn the organization over. All right, we mentioned about some of the backup QBs. Well, two of them are going to be playing against each other because Joe Burrow's out, J.J. McCarthy's out. So Minnesota, Cincinnati in Minnesota. Andrew, walk us through your thoughts on this one.
Yeah, I'm going with the under because I don't know if I would have been able to face my wife and say, hey, I bet on Carson Wentz this week. And this is how it shook out for me. So instead, I decided to bet against both backup quarterbacks.
Okay.
So that's why I'm taking the under in the game, betting against Carson Wentz, making the start for the Vikings, betting against Jake Browning, making the start for the Cincinnati Bengals on the road. You look at the Vikings defense, and that's kind of the unit I have the most confidence in, being able to limit what Jake Browning can do as a passer. They're number one in the NFL in terms of EPA allowed per pass attempt on the passing game, the Minnesota Vikings. At home, they're 6-10 towards the over in Minnesota since 2023. This is a game and team that, especially when they're home favorites, 75% under hit rate at home for the Minnesota Vikings when they're favored. So I like them in this spot. I think that you could see both teams potentially lean on their running games a little bit more when you have a more inexperienced quarterback under center. And if that's the case, okay, then we're going to be running the football more. The Vikings, we know, want to play a strong defense. They've already talked about Kevin O'Connell, has already thrown out the bell cow workhorse terminology around Jordan Mason, which I'm really excited about for fantasy football purposes. But it doesn't necessarily translate to, oh, this is going to be a scoring bonanza. We've seen the Bengals offense not necessarily high or function at the highest level, even with Joe Burrow when they're not playing at home. Their total games usually go down a little bit more when they're playing on the road. So, yeah. So I felt like I wanted to back the Vikings, but then I just had to take a step back and think about, all right, do I really want to bet on Carson Wentz? Is this really what I want to do here? And I decided to go with the under.
Probably smart. That's probably the right way to go. We shall find out. The last pick, the guys both are in on this Dallas-Chicago game. I don't think the Cowboys are great, but I know the Bears are bad. That's what I do know. So let's talk about this one here. The Bears still have some holes. Obviously, it's going to be a struggle bus here for Ben Johnson to right this ship. So let's start with the over 50.5. Terrell, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, did you just hear what I said about what Russell Wilson did last week?
I did.
And my thoughts on Russell Wilson?
I did.
This Cowboys defense isn't good. I mean,
it
they
isn't
they can't get to the quarterback. The only reason that game wasn't uglier is because the Giants literally had one of the worst penalized games of the history of the organization, and honestly, probably the history of the NFL as well. Like, it felt really, really bad. Other than that, there were a lot of points that were going to be scored on the Dallas Cowboys. Russ was moving the ball up and down the field, and 52. This is like the Kobe 80-point game. Like, you don't just say anything, you just say 52. That's how many points the Lions put up on the Bears a week after everybody was questioning if Jared Goff and this Lions offense was any good without Ben Johnson. 52 points they put up on the Bears. First of all, JJ McCarthy looked like a competent quarterback against the Bears defense. And
well,
then
only for one quarter of football, to be honest. So
with that, they still got the points total. They still somehow got to that points total. I don't think that the Bears are stopping the Cowboys from scoring. And I know the Cowboys aren't stopping the Bears from scoring. And so with that, this is the second highest total on the board. I think it should honestly be the highest total on the board, if you ask me. This Bears team, this Bears defense, this Bears total is a fade all of the way until you think otherwise. And the Cowboys aren't showing you any different without Micah Parsons that they're going to be a good defense. So I'm all over the over here, over 50.5.
I got to be honest, Andrew, we did this on the Look Ahead show. We talked about this game, and I thought the line was just wrong. I was surprised that the Cowboys were not favored just because they've got Dak Prescott. Like, right now, we're talking about who's the best player on the field. It's the Dallas Cowboys QB, and it's the wide receiver CeeDee Lamb. Like, that's it. And if those guys can take over this game, you've got it. Now, of course, I would never put blowing a big game or even an easy game past the Cowboys, but just felt like this line was wrong to me. So where are you at with the Dallas Cowboys-Chicago game?
I'm trying to find reasons why, besides the fact that Caleb Williams and the Bears were playing at home, that they are favored in this spot. I don't know. Can you guys answer that question for me? Because I'm having trouble trying to figure it out. So I get, they're trying to lend some credence to Dallas playing on the road, Soldier Field, the mystique of the Chicago Bears. But mean, this defense has nobody left. They're all injured all over the place. And Dallas isn't in much better shape, to the point, like Terrell said. I like the over in this game as well. I think you're going to get points. But if it comes down to, okay, well, Dak Prescott on the final drive will go win the game, that's the side do I want to be betting on the Bears at that point? Like, oh yeah, they'll get a stop here with Dak Prescott. Like, probably not the case. So I like Dallas here. 5-3 against the spread as a road underdog since the start of 2024, basically since the start of last season. And although an interesting angle I also like for this game is potentially a live betting opportunity on the Dallas Cowboys. If you looked at what we've seen from Ben Johnson and the Bears offense, they started out games really, really well. Like, very different from last year when the Bears offense looked terrible to start the game. And then it took them, that second half to really get back into it. So it's even possible that if the Bears just jump out to a 7-0, again, if they just get the ball first, you can actually get the Dallas Cowboys at a better number, either against the spread or just a win outright. So I still feel comfortable locking in Dallas plus 1.5 because ultimately I think they're just going to win this game because the Bears can't stop anybody. And also an interesting trend I found. So this is per the Action Network. Williams has started 7 career NFL games in the afternoon or primetime window. So from 4 p.m. Eastern or later. The Bears, in those games, 0-7 straight up, losing by an average of 11.1 points per game. So the afternoon naps are not working for Caleb Williams, it seems like.
Not a lot's been working for him, that's for sure. All right, let's continue on here. Let's talk about the upset of the week. So 1-1 on the year after 2 weeks. Got Baker Mayfield. Cha-ching. It was, classic Baker Mayfield. Had to wait to the last minute to pull the rabbit out of his hat. But what do you expect? It's Baker Mayfield. This is what he does. I love the fact that when he got, thrown up in the air, looked like he was hurt, pops up, talks smack. Vintage Baker Mayfield. Love it. Can't get enough of it. So we're going to go now and we're going to take a look at teams that might be going 0-3. And I don't think D'Amico Ryans is going to let the Texans go 0-3 to start the year. I just don't see that happening. I know they're going on the road, and I know they're going to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Well,
is this an on the road spot for them?
it's technically an on the road spot for them. They were
9-1 straight up in the last 10 in Jacksonville.
Yeah, and
9-1 straight up.
And you know what, man? 10. And I think that sticks in their craw too. I think they're well aware of this. And this is a spot here where in division game, you don't want to go 0-3 and you don't want to have a loss in your division here to the Jags. So to me, this is one that you have to win. And I think teams, when they have to win, again, what am I looking at? The best unit here, I think, is the defense of the Texans. I think they find a way to get an ugly victory here. So give me Houston on the money line, plus 120 against the Jacksonville Jaguars. I know it sounds crazy. I know Terrell's not wrong. I've seen it. We've all seen it many times. But I think at some point, you have to put your foot down, plant the flag, and say, all right, enough is enough here. Can't keep losing to the Jaguars in Jacksonville. Enough of this nonsense. And you can't go 0-3. That's the end of your season. Basically, you're done. You're toast. And I don't think D'Amico Ryans is going to do that. I think this team has a lot of pride. This is a team that was in the playoffs last year and won a playoff game last year. So let's give the Texans a little bit of credit here and see if they can get it done. So I'm going out on a limb for you, Texans. Don't let me down. All right, let's take a look at the parlay of the week, too. 0-2 on these. I've been really good on the standalone games, but so far 0-2 to start the year on these. So continuing the theme, right, of the teams that cannot go 0-3. Well, let's take those Houston Texans on the money line. Let's take the Chiefs on the money line against your New York Football Giants. And then let's take the Buccaneers on the money line as well. Yeah, maybe the Jets will cover. We'll see. But I don't think the Jets can win this football game in Tampa. I think Tampa's in a whole other class than the Jets. So all those three things together get you to plus 265. You can bet that hard. You can go ahead and walk away with a nice Sunday. So that is the parlay of the week. And of course, we love to hear from you. What is your favorite pick of the week? Drop your picks below in the comments on the YouTube channel. We love to hear from all of you. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We're trying to get to 100,000 this year. We can do it with your help. So subscribe today. Ring the bell till it goes ding so you never miss a piece of content here on the channel. And download the BettingPros app. Bet smarter, not harder. Don't be a tool. Use the tools. That'll do it for us. But the story of the game goes on. For Andrew Erickson and Terrell Furman Jr., I'm Joey P. We'll see you next time, kids.